Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, that's fine. I guess we're live now. Goodness me. Alright. Well, I kind of misclicked there, but we're fine, I guess. First, no, oh no! Oh no! Donut said first and then Nats grabbed the first. That is unfortunate. Missed it. Congratulations, Natsuno. Well, welcome in, Donut. You did say first at the very least. You were hypothetically the first person. At the very least. What? Alright, what did you do? What do you mean, what did I do? Okay, so I was typing in the notification to put it on Discord, right? I was like putting in the little Discord notification. I was typing it out to get ready. And normally I'll press Shift Enter so I could type the link in. But I actually just pressed Enter, and I'm like, I wasn't ready to go live yet. But I pressed Enter and told everyone, hey, I'm live now, and went, I'm not live, so I guess I'm live now, and then I just went live. So here I am. What's up, Chirps? Woo! How's it going, Chirps? Hi, Emmy. How's it going? Hello, Ryan. Hello, how's it going? Are we still doing Subathon? We are absolutely still doing Subathon. Subathon is now, for lack of a better term, permanent? What's up, Donut Master? How's it going? What's up, Two Ball? Holy heck, it's been a minute, huh? Are you ready to listen to my conditions? I will listen to your conditions. What are your conditions, Moochie? I'm scared, and I'm scared. But what are your conditions? Also, hello. Call you do not hate chat. What do you mean? Thank you so much, El, for the lurk. I appreciate you, buddy. Chilling, just mine 20 stacks of quartz blocks. Jesus fuck. Why? Oh god. I mean, I know exactly why, but dear god. Jiminy, shit, dude. I do not hate chat. Emmy, I do not hate chat. Whoa, what's up, Vortex? Holy heck. Yo, what's up? Welcome in, dog. How are you doing? Chat, we have a lot of time to put on the clock from follows between streams. Yo, congrats on the 100 XP. Let's go. First one, I need you to wear the doppelganger hoodie and show me every side. Okay, I can do that. Don't worry, I'll torture him in Horrors Beyond. Let's go. Do I get a sub? Woo. Unfortunately, I don't do subs for firsts anymore. They got kind of rampant over Subathon. Second one, you need to know hate chat for today. I won't. I don't, and I won't. Hello, I've been meaning to ask, what would the numbers have to be for fuck these guys in particular attack? It's a thing you can do as part of a champion specialist talent in Coolified Heroes. I'm confused. What would the numbers have to be for these guys in particular attack? I think I would need more clarification. I presume you're talking about Utopia, but I would need more clarification on what exactly that is. How do you become so cool? Oh, you're so sweet. Hi, yo. Thank you so much. I don't think I'm that cool. I'm just some guy on the internet. Devin, what's up? Yo! Devin! That's the one who made the amazing document that's pinned in Compass right now. Welcome in. How are you doing, buddy? It's not impossible. I don't hate chat. Chat, why would you say I hate chat? Okay, then go put on the doppelganger hoodie and I will send you the sketch. Okay, give me just a second. What's a better way to start the stream other than hot sauce? I'm gonna cry. I'm doing absolutely amazing, Vortex. Thank you so much. Hi guys. What's up? I'm doing fine, thanks. Staying up late for the stream. Oh, well, you shouldn't have to stay up too late, hopefully. We're only going to be on for a couple hours. Normally, streams last like 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 10 on the weekends. This one's going to be a shorter stream, and I'll explain a little bit why I'm not, like, actively streaming right now. I'll explain the schedule and everything like that for anybody who's new. Bro, I need to turn my volume up to 75 to hear you properly. I normally keep that on 35. Oh, I forgot I did turn down my volume. I don't think, normally I'm actually really, really loud, so hopefully this isn't too bad. My phone was almost dead. No, thanks so much for the spray. Dude, how Ori is so loud. Thank you. How much will we get to know you get to know Frankie? I don't know. It depends how much you want to know. I'll be right back, chat.
Money, power,
Doppelganger hoodie on. There we go. Let me open up, mix it up, make sure that I can actually see chat a little bit. Mix. Okay, phone almost dead. How is it so loud? Or you want a burning tongue? I don't specifically. What if I change you to no hating chat condition into any info you can give us about Frankie? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Even after Ori turned it up, I still have it on 50. That's actually kind of wild, dude. I don't think I've ever had a problem with being quiet before. That is not usually a problem that I suffer. Why is your... Oh, no. Don't yell. No yelling. Remember, you need to show me every side of the hoodie? Okay. Did you see my message in the Oracle's SMP Discord channel? I think I found an issue. I did not see it, but I'm intrigued now. ADHD turned off for some reason. Now I can't play games while watching videos. No! That is terrible. What timeline are they from? Those are some big questions. Hypothetically, the same as the other clones. I'm so pissed you raised the hot sauce again? Yes, I did, because people are able to redeem it all the time. Okay, I'm gonna start showing off the doppelganger hoodie. It's a minor issue. Okay. I don't know how to show you guys as much as possible here, but this is for Moonch. Hello. Yo, congrats on the experience. Let's go. Did you get the chance to look at the races I made? Not yet, not yet. Well, I looked at the images. The images were really cool. If that's all you sent me, then yes. But I have not returned the merch. Not quite. This is not available currently. But this was an old piece that I used to do. That I used to have on. I can't actually see right now, so I don't know if this is a good angle. But we're gonna hope. Moonchi, hopefully that's enough. That QR code doesn't work, so don't try it. Have a good one, Dubo. Is Frankie from reality their own or a hopper? Frankie is not from reality. Frankie, their own is a strong word. No, not from their own. They would come from the same timeline that all the other clones did. All of the clones were born on the same timeline. I mean, at least the ones that we're talking about right now. All the 6 clones and Frankie. Okay, for the follows, I need to add about roughly this much time. Holy shit, it's a lot, dude. Another about 2.5 hours from follows alone. You guys are insane. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Clones? Clones? Yes. Anyone else get ads? Oh, ads, thank you. Yes, there are ads currently. Ads, okay, gotcha. Hands up, ads. We're gonna wait a little bit. Let me see if I can figure out what was happening in Oracos while we're waiting for the ads to finish, because I'm curious. Yo, thank you so much for the follow, Featheron. Oh no, this is gonna be so bad. Chat, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to say that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for being here. I presume that you're in an ad right now, so. Can we get clone lore dump after ads? Potentially. Holy shit, 2 hours from follows? Yeah, 2.5 hours. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Heartbeat! No way! Let's go! What's up, Heartbeat? Okay, I'm gonna keep my hands up to let people know that I know that there's still ads. Smortikai, you're subscribed. That's why you don't have ads right now. I can't send it to DMs because of fucking Nitro. No! That's so unfortunate. And 3 seconds left. 2, 1. Okay, ads should be over now. Oh! How's it going? Welcome in. I'm so glad to have you guys. This is so awesome. Wait, so how come I don't have ads? Did you not have ads? I don't know, actually. I had it listed, like under my, developer thing on Twitch. It said that there was ads playing, so if you didn't get ads, good job, I guess. Hypothetically. Unless you got a pre-roll. If you got a pre-roll, that's probably why. Ads are set up right now for the minimum amount to avoid having pre-rolls. Does Eve have a vault account? Not currently. Some people don't for some reason. Interesting. What's up? Okay, since I don't have Nitro, you can unblur it in our chat, but you gotta show chat. All right, fine. I'm fine with that. Where did you go? There it is. Beautiful. Give me this. All right, chat. This is what Moonchi was teasing me with a little bit ago. So I was looking at this and I wanted to check it out. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Holy fuck, dude. Oh. My god, I'm so stoked. I love this so much. Chat, for any of you who don't know about the clones, this is an example of all the clones. Normally it's just the 6 that you see on the left side. The one on the far right side is Frankie, which is a new one that kind of got introduced like 2 days ago, essentially. I mean, the meme was rolling around for a while, but oh my god, that's so dope, and I'm so excited. Oh, it's so cool. I'm fine. Goodness me. Frankie, my favorite. Oh yeah, wonderful. Our guys, our little duders. It's the little duders. I love them so much. This makes me so happy. None whatsoever. Wow. I'm listening live and roaming in the Discord. Let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate your heartbeat. Oh. It is so cool. I'm so stoked. Are you sure? What am I sure? What? What am I sure about? Freaky don't. Yes, yes. With the curly letters and everything. Extremely important to the spelling. If you don't add the curly letters, it's actually spelled wrong. What is pink going to represent now? It's its own separate portion of things. I wouldn't take it. I don't know how to explain that. I'm not gonna say don't take it seriously, but the main 6 are still independent of that. Huh, ignoring my highlighted message, so rude. Do you hate chat? I do not hate chat. Happy early birthday, Ori. I love you. I love you too, Moonchi. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Just in general, I don't know. Pink does have one other meaning that I can think of at this moment, and that is the highest rarity in all of Utopia, the unlimited one. The one that has no maximums whatsoever. Just unique, not tied to the compass, correct. Also remember to show off the other homunculi I didn't make. Oh, let's go. Pink has been brought into canon after the fact. Emergent, real. Real. So that's in DMs now? Bet. Appreciate it. I'll be checking it out the moment that I can. I don't know if you guys have any questions of any type that you guys want to ask about. I know that a couple people have been trickling in, and it seems like the community's been doing actually like a bang up job of clearing up a lot of the muddy water potentially. I'm literally like right before stream. Okay, I went to the store, and then before that, I was writing the script for the next video. So if pink is going to become some kind of archetype, it's going to be weird. No, it's not going to be an archetype. Pink is not going to become part of the compass or anything like that. Well, all 29 of them, I made 7 of them. Oh my goodness, I love that. What nonsense would you wish for in Utopia? What I wish for? Okay, are we talking Eevee? Are we talking about Eevee specifically? Pink is the one that overrides all. After all, Pink made us omnipresent in the other color chats. I mean, you got a point. Pink is, or Ori, wish for in Utopia? Like if I was to like be in Utopia, or you mean like as a game Utopia? Pink has had kind of a knack for being an omnipresent color. For some reason. I didn't necessarily intend for it to be that way, but I'm not necessarily mad about it. Will pink represent a talent tree in Utopia? There used to be one, and there's not currently. It's hypothetically possible, but it won't be in the AG if it is. Ori wishes Utopia player. Midas Blade? I don't think I'd wish for a Midas Blade. I don't think I would find very much use out of a Midas Blade necessarily. If I had a true wish in Utopia. Oh, I want to see Moochie. I want to see. It's the GM's tree. James Bond archetype, go! I love that. Utopia wish. I don't know, man. That's actually really tough. I always struggle with wishes. Like, in general, in any circumstance, I always struggle with wishes quite a bit. If pink gets out of the compass, it should literally be a modifier of archetypes. That's terrifying. A god modifier. A god. Yeah, so you have the six roots, and then you have god. That's pink. Glad to hear that Ori's having fun talking about Ori's house rules. Ori's house rules, correct. Check DM, show chat. What would it modify? I don't know. That's kind of the question, I feel like. Oh my god, dude, this is gonna be so exciting. This is gonna be so exciting, chat. This is so dope. I'm so excited for this picture. It's so spot on, too. It's so spot on. I don't think I've ever seen my hair drawn at this length, honestly. I don't think I've seen anybody draw my hair yet. And I'm actually really excited to see how that turns out. Ori's house rules is so funny. What's up, Vortex? I don't identify as a lover anymore. I now identify as Pink. Joking Toad. I love that so much. I identify as Pink. The god root. It's kind of whack how Pink has gotten such like an extreme connotation out of not any intention at least. Thanks to Rain for sending me a pic of the hoodie earlier while I was at college. Rain, you sneaky bastard. Pizza's here. Let's go. You identify as a pink cat. Let's go. Emergence. Take my advice. Wish for unlimited bacon. Unlimited bacon, but no games. Hi, international spot. I'm not a leprechaun, not a masochist. I do not hate chat. As the process becoming unemployed, yet is addicted to streaming. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm no longer in the process. What's up, Point Sage? How's it going? Welcome in. I'm not in the process anymore. It's gone. I'm out. I'm not employed anymore. James Bond archetype. Go. Let's go. I think Frankie is my 4th favorite clone. Sorry, Ari. No way. Frankie pushed out Ari? No shot. What's your option as running people over in GTA? I don't know what that means. I'm still thinking about that Utopia wish. I don't know what I would wish for, chat. I have no idea. Okay, so most of the time, when it comes to like what my wish is going to be in most circumstances, that usually tends towards knowledge, right? But I have this really weird, like, want and desire to discover that knowledge under my own pretenses, right? Like, I like the process of failing a lot of the time. When it comes to trying to figure out something new, there's something I very, very much enjoy in failing a multitude of times, because I feel like it gives me the best intuition of the subject at hand. What's up, True Trans Person? How's it going? Welcome in. I love that. How are you doing? Welcome in. Make yourself at home. Wish I have powers of a god. I don't want to be a god. I don't think being a god is fun. Attempt number 3, James Bond archetype, go. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh my god. I was reading that like it was like a go-go gadget command. I understand. You're asking for James Bond's archetype. I'm so dumb, chat. I'm so dumb. Okay, James Bond's archetype. That's actually really tough. I haven't consumed a lot of James Bond media, so I'm not 100% positive. How are you doing, True Fans? How's it going? Doing amazing? No! You get more from failure than from success. Correct. And that is exactly how I feel about that personally. I feel like a process that is excessively easy and succeeded on the first time yields virtually nothing in the way of experience and knowledge and understanding of the subject. So I like to build intuition through failure. I like beating my face against something so many times. And what I mean by that is I like failing a multitude of times. If I had to give a guess to James Bond, my first guess would be Inquisitor. That would be my first guess, but something tells me that he's probably more red. Again, I haven't seen a lot of the James Bond's films, books, anything like that, so I'm not 100% positive. I'd have to look into it more, but it's very possible he could be an executive. Executive would kind of make sense. I was Ori on the spot and he thought I was going Inspector Gadget bit. Shit's fine. Donnie Nuggies, let's go, dude. Oh, absolute W. Let's fucking go. Watching Sailor Moon, Crystal, and drinking Monster. I'm living the dream right now. Dude, that sounds absolutely phenomenal. I am so stoked for you. Wishing for a cool campaign that gives you a proper chance to explore someone else's interpretation of your setting does sound fun. Honestly, though, that sounds like the fattest W I've ever heard in my life. My current ranking is Orion, Tori, Oribot, Frankie, Ari, Oliver, Okifun. So yes, Frankie pushed Ari out of 4th place. That's wild. I love seeing Oribot in a higher position. So when the clones first got publicized, like ever, like when the first time the clones ever even like came into public existence, Oribot was like low on the rankings for so long, and Oribot's one of my personal favorites. It made me sad. I think that Bond is a loner. He can accomplish what he set out to do when he does it, so I think he's executive. I think executive makes a lot of sense. So many Markiplier, not a masochist vibe. Shh, I'm not a masochist. I just want to know what my body can handle. There was actually a stream where I ended up with a tens machine attached to me. I don't know how many of you know what a tens machine is, but that was a very fun stream. I myself have seen Die Another Day, and that's it. I have not seen it. I'm intrigued though. I wish for Magic Frying Pan. Magic Frying Pan is pretty dope. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you trust any leprechauns? I don't know any leprechauns. Thank you very much. Only Ori slightly. What? The more I know about Oribot, the more I love him. Dude, honestly, real. I love Oribot so much. There's actually so much beneath the surface about Oribot that is like, I love Oribot so much, dog. So which clone is Oridont's avatar supposed to be? That is a whole ass subject. That is a whole ass subject to get into. Wasn't Oridont technically the second or third clone? I have to do this math in my head. No, Oridont was one of the last clones. Second to last. At least out of the 6. Fembori actually, was, what? Huh? Yeah, oh, I understand what you're saying now. It's a construct? Literally. Gaming? Ori is race Oridont? Yeah. 100 hours for 10's machine stream? 100 hours for 10's machine stream? I'm fine with that. I'll do that. I don't mind. If you guys get it to 100 hours, I'll do a 10's machine. No leprechaun? I don't know any leprechauns or masochists who are unemployed. I don't know who you could possibly be talking about because I don't know anybody who fits that build. Thank you, though. International spy. I remember the doppelganger event, the Oridont mod bot. That was so wild. Yeah, Oridont was a Discord bot for a little while. before ever like any of the clone shenanigans or anything like that. Oridont was a Discord bot. When I got the information that's don't take that like thematically. That's not thematic. I'm not saying that. Okay, well, you guys get it. When I got the information that Oridont created the plushies, they went straight to 3rd place in my ranking. That's actually so real. Oridont and the plushies actually has like its own like dedicated storyline to an extent. So does the pink compass color represent being freaky? I guess. I don't want people to start saying that there's a pink archetype. So okay, wait, hold on. Before that we said that pink also is like the god root. So like pink is like a modifier that just makes you god in the compass. So does that mean that in order to be god you have to be freaky? In curly letters specifically. Oh yeah, with the wish, I would also be cool if y'all wanted, if you want to be animals anymore. If you don't want to be animals anymore, I actually don't mind. What did I do? Eco, hello Eco, how's it going? I don't know what I did, but hi. Hi Eco. Pink represents Rule 34 canon. God damn it. I have not seen anything clone related Rule 34. I have not seen anything of that nature. Freaky Toad is just a deity. Frankie's just a deity. Frankie's just God. If anyone's curious, Frankie's just God. Jesus Christ. Sugar glider moth. I love that shit so much. I don't know, dude. I feel like for a wish, oh, dude, a wish is so difficult. Usually, I'll kind of like semi-purposefully waste wishes a lot of the time. And I feel like that sounds dumb, but I will often waste wishes because I just don't want it. I guess I just like to take the journey at my own pace. You know what I mean? At the rate that we're going to experience it. I feel like a wish is always gonna bring some kind of artificial semblance to something that I would rather be a part of. Freaky Toad is the most powerful. Let's be honest, Ori. You have to be a little freaky to be a god. Yeah, no, you true. Not yet, you haven't, Ori? What do you mean not? Wait, hold on. Are we talking about the Rule 34 thing again, Nico? Yeah. Sugar glider moth is even more tasty than regular. Jesus Christ. It's even more tasty than regular moth. Guys, don't eat moth. Please don't eat moth. We should be ignorant again then. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. I feel like, okay, if I was Eevee, I would say that. As a person, I would never say that. As a player, for me personally, I would never say that. Eevee, I could see saying that. Wait, or you should look in the items to do a perfect Frankie cosplay since I kind of forgot to look myself. Look for the items to do a perfect Frankie cosplay. I will at some point. I want to leave today as just chatting. In case anybody has any questions or anything they want to talk about. How does dissociative identity disorder interact with Compass? I've gotten that question a couple of times now. I'm not 100% positive. One of the things that I said was that if it's potential, like in a perfect world, it would be a root split, right? Where your roots split up and they become each their own independent kind of like portion of the system. However, I doubt that it works that way. I really doubt that it would actually end up working that way. Root personification is a whole topic unto itself. And the clones are an example of that, right? The clones are an example of root personification. However, I don't think it works that way. And more than likely, if somebody with DID or somebody who was a part of a system would likely be different archetypes. That, or maybe even potentially different regressions of the same archetype, but I kind of also doubt that as well. It usually doesn't line up that cleanly. I had a question. If I remember correctly, then regressions are only determined by your lean, right? Since when I look at the regressions, it kind of feels like mature equals best of endo, best of exo. Partial regression is best of one, worst of the other, and full regression, worst of endo, worst of exo. But I'm not sure if I'm interpreting or understanding it correctly, so I was wondering what your stance on this is. You are correct. It is completely based on lean, not perspective. It is not specific to your perspective. However, that also means that your sub-archetype has its own regression as well, right? So, for example, if you were to take a genius that is specifically a preacher, which is the green lean, then that means that they would regress into preacher, but their sub-archetype, let's say that they have a purple perspective, they would have a sub-archetype of conductor because they have a purple perspective and a green lean, and that conductor would regress into mercenary because mercenary is the yellow side of conductor. So you kind of have this double regression that happens between your archetype and your sub-archetype. But again, your sub-archetype is only dependent on your endo, and your endo's lean specifically. Zonification is fucking lovely. So when applying the compass to a character with DID, just judge the personalities individually. I would personally. That's how I would assume it happens. Now, I haven't witnessed it, so I'm not 100% positive. For narrative purposes, it's probably easier to go with opposite regressions or maybe different sub-archetypes or maybe just split roots, right? So for instance, if you have an executive, then you have a pure purple and then you have a pure red. For narrative simplicity. However, if you were trying to establish a real person, I would not simplify them that way. To me, DID people would just have their compass shifts or points to another direction depending on who is fronting. That's what I would assume would actually happen. Is it me or is the Omnisoul slightly similar to DID? Most Omnisoul present characters usually, I feel like, kind of present that way to an extent. We should be able to cast Nuke one time just for funsies. I have a question. Indigo clone win? Kill me. Maybe one day, Munchi. Maybe one day. Noted. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, 100%. I appreciate it. I appreciate the questions a lot. What is sub-archetype again? So you have your archetype. When we're talking about archetype, the full reference to that is called a super archetype. So whenever we're talking about archetype, if there's no other clarification, we're talking about super archetype. Now, on the flip side of that, you have a sub-archetype, which is kind of like a tint on your archetype, right? So like, let's say you have a super archetype of lover, you could have a sub-archetype of, I don't know, let's say performer, right? So that would mean that you are essentially a lover with performer tendencies. Gross simplification, but you get the point. So that's what that button does. What button? the nuke button? You had to press both of them at the same time. Yeah, that makes sense. We can manifest an indigo clone. Trust, kill me. If we get an indigo clone, can I design them like I did with Frankie? I wouldn't stop you. Chat is indigo. Ah! Oh no. It was a gay disaster. What do I mean if I'm a lover with a sub-archetype mastermind? Just that. It means that you're a lover with mastermind tendencies. Masterminds seem to be kind of interesting to me, and I think part of it is because masterminds require a lot more introspection for me to understand. And there's things about masterminds that confuse me as being a part of it, I guess. Being red-orange kind of makes it harder because I feel independent from the other people that I've seen that are masterminds. And it makes me, like, realize things about masterminds that I didn't realize about myself. And it makes it, like, one of the harder archetypes for me to deduce, personally. Sub-mastermind is a very hilarious statement. Lover sub-mastermind. God damn it. Masterminds are hard to sniff out. They seem to be. They seem to be. And I think part of that is because, okay, so in my time of streaming and the time of Compass being around, nobody ever assumed I was orange. Everyone assumed that I was blue. Like, everyone thought I was blue, which I thought was hilarious. I try to drop so many hints. Even my lighting is mastermind colors right now. There was a hint in the video. I don't know if anyone caught that, but there is a mastermind hint in the video that has to do with me. Do I get mastermind vibes? I could see it. I could see it. I would say probably rebel, which makes sense if you were a lover super archetype, because if you were a lover super archetype, then your mastermind sub archetype would regress rebel. I should see that. I can see that. I thought there might be a little bit of green, but I could also see, if we're talking about a mastermind rebel, I could definitely see that as being a sub-archetype. No, I don't hate chat. Chat, I'm gonna be so dead honest with you. If you became indigo, I would sacrifice my hatred for indigo. Don't say I didn't do anything for you. And all the other clones just hate chat. Oh, what do you mean? I figured red since you dropped the compass. Yeah. Red has been one that I feel like, actually a lot of people thought I was a performer, which is really interesting to me. But I did get hit with the red a lot of times. Mastermind Rebel? Yes. Rebel is the regression of Mastermind, which is the yellow side. The little mascot dude is a construct / puppet thingy? Yeah. Fucking lies. It's not a lie. I think masterminds are really flexible. Their subs are vastly different. Yeah. So masterminds are really interesting, and I think one of the things that makes a mastermind difficult to land is that orange is very analytical complacent, right? And reds mask that really well, right? So reds make you feel not analytical complacent because of how impulsive they are, right? And their complacency doesn't show through when they're active, right? When a red is being like super like bullheaded, you know, hyper focused, then they don't feel complacent. But their complacency seems to mostly come in the form of self-complacency, right? Like they don't watch or care for the consequences of their actions when they're in that hyperfixation. And when they're not in their hyperfixation, then they just kind of fall off and become standard complacent. But they usually fail to communicate in that time as well. In my experience, a lot of times masterminds just fail to explain things a lot. They'll just not explain things either because they don't know how, because they don't care to explain, or what have you. So their complacency feels more internal, I guess I'll say. So what's the color of a lover with a hint of green? The regression for a green lover is Jester. That is Jester. That's usually your dark humor type, I would say. But also just generically, like, pretty strong jokester in my experience. Pretty sure you're Inquisitor. I love orange perspective, but the lean is hard to place. No, that's actually really understandable. Yellow, in my short time talking with you, so take it with a grain of salt, of course. I would assume green, but I don't have any promise towards that. That was my first assumption, but I don't know. Also, when you say, I don't know if anyone caught the hint, didn't your little mascot literally become those colors at one point? Yes, they absolutely did. And a lot of people didn't pick up on it. Or at least, not that I've heard of, to any amount. And usually I'll usually get a little bit of a hint. So it's possible that someone caught it and I just didn't see. But yes, he did turn red and orange. He did turn a couple of colors, so that's kind of one of the reasons that I was like, kind of like, well, but that was the only time that he turned both colors, I think. He might have turned green and purple for Conductor. Yeah, he did turn Conductor as well. But I also outwardly admitted that I was not a Conductor. Thank you so much for another handful of points in the Femboy Fund. What are we at? 216? I still owe you the 200 Femboy stream, chat. I need to do it. I owe you guys one. 216 times. Red's on top! Real. Having never met another construct in real life, it was very weird to have that defined as an entire personality type. No, honestly, you're kind of real for that. Go through the walls! I mostly have a big difficulty seeing the difference between purple and orange. Can you maybe give a clear example? Yes! So Rain and I are actually an example of that. Now, Rain and I also share a perspective, so it's not a perfect comparison. But I feel like purples are going to be like, so for example, purples are likely going to be more vocal about their opinions, whereas oranges are going to be kind of non-caring, I feel like a lot of the time. Now, if you have, for instance, an orange with a purple perspective and a purple with an orange perspective, it's going to be really hard to sniff out the difference most of the time. But assuming that you have, let's say, an orange with an orange perspective and a purple with a purple perspective, you're probably going to have a purple that wants things to be a certain way a lot of the time. You know, they'll schedule things and they won't like when those schedules change. They'll plan things, they won't like when those plans change. They'll have an idea of how things should be, and they'll, depending on their endo, often be vocal about how those things should be. Whereas an orange may say something and then not care if it actually happens, right? An orange will give advice if asked, but also not care if you disagree. They're just gonna walk past, right? I guess the easiest way to say it, right, is if an orange and a purple at the same time walk across something that they dislike or that they feel like should be different, a purple will stop and orange will keep walking, if that makes sense. Does that feel like an accurate description? Yeah. Purples are more engaged while oranges are more laid back, sorta. I think that's a very accurate way. Wait, Ori, that's perspective. What's Rain's perspective? Rain, what's your perspective? Definitely blue, he says. He has orange perspective. Your name does what? This thing, the time with the colors, you said, now am I X? Absolutely not. No, I'm not a conductor. I would make a terrible conductor, chat. I don't know if you guys can't tell, but I'm not a purple. Planning is actually one of the things I am worst at. Yo, what's up, L Gaming? How's it going? Welcome in, buddy. Thank you so much for the follow. Make yourself at home. I appreciate you for being here. So purple is just autism. You know, a lot of people have said that yellow is autism. I don't know, honestly. I've gotten the question specifically about autism quite a few times, and how it relates to the compass. And from what I can tell, so the compass was designed completely blind to neurodivergency, right? And I don't mean that like it was excluding, I mean that it was including and didn't care if you were neurodivergent nor neurotypical, right? So any form of mental difference that you have, whether it be a learning condition, whether it be a disability or what have you, the compass doesn't care. It just gives you a mapping regardless, which means that it's possible that you could map those things to certain compass archetypes, but I don't know if it ends up the same way every time, right? Like maybe certain, like for instance, maybe ADHD will tend you more often towards red. I've heard that a lot of times. Maybe autism will tend you more towards yellow and or orange is the most common one that I've heard so far. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's absolutely true or anything like that. And a lot of times you can probably be something completely different and still have those. I don't know. Cost this entire subathon is an example of horrible planning. I'm great at planning, chat. The only conductor that's never on track. I'm a good conductor in the form that I can send electricity through me. That's the only form of good conductor that I am. What is food's archetype? I swear to God, you're not talking about Moth, are you, Sage? We've been actually arguing about that. We've been debating about that for a little while, what Moth's archetype is. Because originally we were gonna say genius. We had a feeling it was genius, but we have kind of this potential shift that Moth might be a lover, which is really wild. Because I think Moth was kind of designed to be a genius. But he kind of started moving away from that. Now, if he was a genius, then he would definitely be blue perspective. And if he's a lover, he's probably orange perspective, realistically. But not 100% positive. I think actually probably I'm just never been confirmed. No, yeah, no, the entire compass is autism trust. So just either talking about Moth or Deppy. Oh, goodness. I think definitely that's a thing. If you have X conditions, you'd be more likely to be Y archetype, but it's not an end-all be-all. And that's the truth for, ads. That's the truth for most things, right? When it comes to the compass, any one question is not going to be an end-all be-all. Now I'm going to stop explaining for the ads. That Moth might be a Honda ad! Moth must be a root personification. He's close, actually. He's really close to just a straight root personification. Lelo. My hypothesis is genius, blue perspective for Moth. Yeah, that makes sense. You guys are getting ads? Yellow, do you still not have ads? Do you have turbo? Moth is yellow, and so they can pass as Ollie's twin. Honestly, real. We've made jokes about what Moth would do if he met Ollie. No ads. That's whack. I have no idea how you... Oh, do you have an ad blocker by chance? Are you using Opera? No, I use Opera, and I still get ads. I just don't get ads ever. Interesting. I want Moth to meet Ollie. I want to so bad. Turbo D's nuts. I'm on mobile. Oh, that's extra whack. I think you found a bug in the system. Don't fix it. Moth's blood is low, and it makes my Moth shakes into looking like banana milkshakes. I don't like banana. I use my sub as an ad blocker. Yeah. Appreciate you. Anyway, I want to start making small games to build experience for a large game that I eventually want to create. Do you have any ideas for some smaller games I could start with? Are you talking about like virtual game development, like video games? Or are you talking like physical games, like tabletops, board games, card games, stuff like that? I don't get ads because of my country. Oh, fair enough. No ad too. Use Firefox using uBlock Origin, but it had the previous ad. Interesting. Wild. Hillary, you think you could ever create a Tempest personification conduit? There is a Tempest personification. And you scream her name all the time. Apparently Twitch just doesn't want me to have ads, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna complain personally. Yo, Brad, thank you so much for the 20 biddies. I appreciate you so much, buddy. Thank you for being here. How you doing, dog? They would have a nice tea time. Real. Programming and such? Programming and such? Okay. I think the biggest thing I would have to say when it comes to video games is this is gonna sound so whack. But honestly, I think it depends on your archetype a little bit. Personally, when it comes to making games, one of my biggest downfalls is scope creep. I am so bad about having like an idea in my head of what a game's gonna look like, and then immediately going into it and just going, oh, but what if I add this? 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 And it absolutely eviscerates me by the end of it. Makes the project impossible to work on. It's a nightmare. You should make a quiz game. There's actually a thing about that I have been thinking about, and I will get to that in a second, chat. If you remind me, I will get back into that about a quote-unquote compass game. But anyways, I'll be ready for you, Tor. Asking DMs when they are. Woo! But scope creep is a big problem to me. For me personally, when it comes to programming game development, please plan things. Plan things as well out as you can. Understand what your end goal is going to look like. It's natural to add more things by the end of it, but at the end of the day, when it comes to programming, the more you're aware of what you're going to come across, the better you can plan for it, right? So for instance, let's say I have this character, this main character that you play as in the game. You know, there's a number of variables I need to attach to this character. Let's say the player class, right? And if I don't know about all of the stuff that might come in later in the game, then I'm gonna have to go back and fix those variables in the future. So like, let's say there was a dash ability, right? And I didn't realize until halfway through game development that I needed to add this dash ability. So I go back and I go to add this dash ability and I realize that it clashes with all of the stuff that I've made up to this point. If I would have known that that dash ability was there the entire time, then I could have worked around it knowing that it was there. So TLDR, plan your game, right? Know what it's gonna look like from start to finish, at least rough concept, right? So you know what you might come across. Or be like me and just make it so everything is modifiable so you can customize later. I like that. The problem that I came across with that is optimization, right? The more contingencies you put in programming, the more the computer has to work at it. If you're making a small program, it's pretty negligible, right? You could probably go and never come into a problem with it whatsoever. However, if you're making large-scale games, I would probably use that only when you need it. I call it rasterization, and I don't think that that's actually the correct term for it, but I say rasterization in the form of like turning things into hard coding, right? Hard coding is scary, right? You don't want to hard code everything. Hard coding everything makes it so much more difficult to edit. However, hard coding is probably one of the most optimized options there are, right? So personally, what I like to do is I like to keep everything malleable until I'm close to done, right? And then I make them not malleable anymore. You know, they connect back into each other in the way that they're supposed to, for the sake of optimization. If optimization isn't a problem, keep them malleable. Don't even mess with it. That's my opinion. But definitely, my spreadsheets take time to update. Honestly, real though. Definitely purple. Gotta be a purple. Heartbeat has to be a purple. I can't see Heartbeat as anything but a purple, honestly. Very, very optimistic, which makes me feel either... I was kind of getting executive vibes from Heartbeat. I just like making good code to allow me not plan. I use my oranges to not have to be purple. I love that so much. Asking Ori, what's up? Last time I'm asking, double checking, do I give off orange vibes? To an extent, I think. But I don't think that they're like super, super profound orange vibes necessarily. I definitely got the orange for a minute, but I think that might be perspective based, and I could just be wrong. I don't know. I don't see orange as prominent as when I first talked about it. Fair enough. I use the red to not be purple. Honestly, fair though. I use my red to not be orange, and sometimes I use my orange to not be red. Remember my perspective? I forgot. I believe that you have... Do we say purple perspective on Munch? Maybe. I would kind of hazard to say that Munch might have an orange perspective. I don't know. I don't feel judgment from Munch. Neppy, yes, absolutely. Neppy. It might. No, you might be right. It could be purple. I don't know. I kind of get the orange vibe. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. How do I use my yellow to not be purple and my yellow is too much of a butt? It's too much of a bottom. Oop! I don't believe rain not being balanced. What do you mean? Rip lol one day. Rain must be perfectly balanced between yellow and purple. No. Doesn't matter. Mothling. I feel like the problem is that Rain is an example of someone who has a very, very light lean. I feel like you don't have that strong of a lean. So I always say that Rain is, Rain is red lean, which seems to be the consensus. But I think that Rain is red lean, and Rain doesn't have that much red, honestly. So I've talked about before how the leans are kind of like very granular, right? Like you have an amount of each one. And I feel like Rain is like very high yellow, like very up there levels of yellow. So like instead of like a 150, it's like a 120, and then green is just like 5. So it's like it's technically a red lean, but not by that much. I can see how I give executive vibes. My main issue with it is competitivity. I'm not competitive. Competitiveness, I feel like. Okay, 2 questions then. First one is, are you combative? Second one is, competitiveness can also come in the form of self-competitiveness. It's also kind of just linguistics, right? You don't necessarily have to be competitive to be red, right? But it's just the most common feature and the most visible feature when a red has it, right? However, I do think that the competitiveness often comes off in the form of self-competitiveness or the need to progress beyond what you were before. Executives can be really fucking perfectionistic. So I've seen, yeah, I agree with that. They are too purple and yellow to be red. Know what? For the best options with minimal filters, I'm gonna ask my IRL friends who know me the longest. Actually, that's a really good idea. Combative for those I care for? Yes. Just really don't care about myself. That sounds really lovery. That sounds very lovery in nature. I'm gonna send the video to them, but I do like to challenge myself. Interesting. Interesting. I would be so surprised if Captain. I do not see Captain at all. I see potential red. I see potential yellow. I see potential blue. I see potential purple. I do not see Captain. I do not see Captain. Inquisitor would be possible, but I feel the least inclined to that, I think. I feel like I feel the least inclined to Inquisitor. So I would assume either lover or executive. Starting, so food time it is. Let's go! Tori! It's possible that one is the archetype, one is the super archetype, one is the sub archetype, and I could also just be completely wrong. I don't know. You know you better than I know you. It might be red lean. Now that I'm hearing it, my purple finds the third option. My red lean decides the brick wall in between me and option 3 is the only obstacle if I let it be. You know, that is the natural, yeah, that is usually the thought process. And by thought process, I mean lack thereof when it comes to red. I'm learning, chat. I've learned a lot of things about being red, and by that I mean being a complete jackass. I'm not saying red's a jackass, I'm saying I'm a jackass and a red. Completely coincidentally. love executive. Luxecutive. Executor. It sounds like executioner. Judge, jury, and executioner. Frankie! Oh, that's a new one. One of the things that I'm learning, okay, so there's actually a really funny meme here, chat, that I find with being red. Red and orange especially, because red and orange kind of mix very, very well for this. There's something, I've been called philanthropistic before, and I don't think I am in the way that people would describe philanthropy, or at least what the traditional sense of philanthropy is. I've realized that it's fun when other people have fun, right? So I like doing things for other people. However, it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm willing to make this self-sacrifice of myself for the betterment of good. It's like, you want the thing, so I'm gonna do the thing that you want, or I'm gonna get you the thing that you want. And I just fail to see the consequences. I'm completely obscured to the consequences, and I'm like, this is easy. This is basically free. I can give you the thing that you want at no cost to anybody. And then I do it and I go, oh, why am I in so much financial struggle now? Don't take that. Don't take that as a thing. I don't have any problems. Any examples towards that are wrong. Don't worry about it, chat. Set a concrete member goal? What's that? One day? What's one day? I want a Tempest Club for us to laugh at her bad decisions. Please? I want a red club. I want a red club where we can just make bad decisions together and then laugh about how terrible our decisions were and then not learn from them and continue. Does a single pressure archetype have anything to do with subconsciously wanting to play archetypes other than your own? I'm a genius and I've never played my own archetype. So funny story, there's a name for that. They're called chorus archetypes. Chorus archetypes are archetypes where your endo and your exo exert and accept the same pressure. So genius, performer, and executive are the three chorus archetypes. Wanting to be a different archetype is really interesting. I don't think I've necessarily heard that before, but I could see it. However, I have noticed that masterminds specifically also often take on other archetypes. I call masterminds mimics, especially servants. Servants, or the green lean mastermind, usually seems to take on kind of like a weird version of mirror balling, where like they'll take personalities of others and then like categorize them and use them when they need them, right? So like myself included, I'll like listen to somebody and I'll interact with somebody for an extended period of time, and then I'll take their personality and I'll categorize it and I'll hold on to it, right? And when I meet another person or I read another room that I feel like that personality would be helpful, I will embody it. It's like a delayed mirror ball. Haha, I'm an example of this. Chorus archetypes on top. Alright, we need to make a programming language that is lower level than assembly. I want to die, and I'm so in. Or I forgot about Ty. Ty is a chorus archetype, correct. I mean, Ty also adamantly refuses to admit that he's a genius, which is kind of this whole meme. It's the whole supposedly trademark. I would kind of hazard to say that Ty might be here. Ty, if you're here, I love you, and you're a genius. Supposedly trademarked, but I just feel like you just are. Hippity hoppity, your personality is now my property. Is there a programming language? I mean, I guess there's machine code. Machine code is lower level than assembly, hypothetically. I think that's the lowest level you can get, right? Or I guess binary. Binary isn't instructional though, not in nature. Or I want in on the programming language thing now? Okay, let's do it. Everyone come to Ori's house walls. I'm making mac and cheese. God damn it. Sticks and rocks. Hey Ori, am I allowed to out of the cupboard? No, you are not. Or rather a purely computational thingy. One sec. Interesting. I'm intrigued and interesting. Have some cereal. Have some cereal, yes. Have some of the cereal in there. Then we make something lower than binary? Guys, we're gonna be talking in base 1! Screaming actually base 1? I mean, hypothetically, you could communicate that way. The only problem is the most inefficient communication ever conceived. Because the only single metric you can use is just how long you're screaming. And if you like increase the volume or whatever, or the tone or anything, it's not base 1 anymore. So you have to scream the exact same way every time, or just not measure anything but the length of time that you're screaming. That's it. One. Yeah, exactly. See, like for every word in the English language, right? Like let's say there's 1,000 words that you want to be able to convey. The options are just a number of ones. Like that's it. Like there's the first word is 1, the second word is 1, the third word is 1, so on and so on forever. It's the most inefficient form of communication I've ever heard in my life, and I feel like you can just turn that into screaming, and it's just how Reds talk. That's it. Reds speak in base 1. Analysis challenge. I made a speedster character this time. Oh, interesting. You made a speedster character. Okay. What I would want from you, Sherps, would to take all of your characters, like all the ones that you've made, I'd want to look at their talent trees and what talents you took and tell me which one was your personal favorite. That's what I'd want to know. That's in quotes now. I want that though. 1111 is story. Okay, gotcha. I'll try to send a link to the purely computational thing. I'm so intrigued. Oh, hey, okay, I saw that this video popped up in my feed. I haven't watched it yet. I'm intrigued. Base 1 sounds awful and beautiful. It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I need it. We need to make a programming language using base 1. This is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Tactics is the fucking best. Eco with the green? What are you doing, dog? Or if you come see me at the walls, you can also get a bowl of mac and cheese. I fucking love some mac and cheese right now. You have no idea. It's about even between red and green. That's everyone except the one, which is wild. That was the video I watched literally right before watching the Compass video. You know what? Okay, hold on. No, wait, hold on. I have a response now, don't I? There's a really interesting phenomenon that Sherb just reminded me of. There's this weird thing, and I don't know why this is, and this might be introspective insecurity, but yellows seem to actively never want to be something that they are. Right? And I don't mean that for everything, right? But every yellow archetype that I've come across either behaves as a non-yellow or acts like a non-yellow or says they want to be a non-yellow. Examples is, Rain wants to be orange, Sky wants to be a conductor, Sherbs doesn't play a single yellow character, Ty refuses to actively admit that he is a genius. Like, just to put a couple of examples out there. It's really weird that yellows have this, like, weird, it's not imposter syndrome, is it? I don't know. I would have to look at the definition of imposter syndrome. I don't know if that's exactly it. But it's like the need to be something other than what they are in some capacity. Makes more sense when you have a 0 representing a 1 for some reason. I kind of agree with that. First thing I will do is create the pious party in Tamagotchi life. I love that. Do I give off green vibes at all? To an extent, but I also feel like a lot of the behaviors that feel green to me are also what a yellow leaning red is like as well, in a comfortable state, right? So the talkative, representative, kind of like nature of wanting to be seen can be seen in pure greens as well as yellows leaning red. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly, but I feel like a yellow leaning green would not exhibit that. So that tells me that's probably yellow leaning red in that case, escapism. That's actually, is it just that? Are yellows escapists? I mean, okay, here's a really interesting thing, and this is kind of, we're getting into stretchy territory, so take it with a grain of salt, but yellows also seem to be the most inclined to lore and storytelling. Like, most of the people that I've met who were like a part of like YN culture and fan fictions a lot seem to be very heavily in the yellow category. Yellows, like when it comes to lore and like, you know, like what we do in a day, right? Like we were going up to stream. It's more often than not that the yellows are the one that are promoting lore, thematics, you know, I want information above anything, right? And I kind of wonder if yellows have an inclination towards like narrative escapism. Rain's going. I don't know. It's just a hypothesis being thrown out there. I feel like I can explode from happiness. It's been on, wait, what's it? It's been over 10 years. What's been over 10 years? What's going on? First thing I will do is create. I hate socializing since I have no pressure to do so, and yet my entire family is either green or blue. That is the realest shit I've ever heard, dog. That is the realest shit I've ever heard. Family gatherings make me want to die. I love my family. My family is amazing, but oh my god, are they social, dude. Holy shit, dude. They love to just socialize and just touch you. They just want to touch you, you know, like with their hands and with their words. Lolo's coming for you, Eco. Escape artist, thank you. Fuck, Eco says fuck you. That's purple. Being a genius means coming up with a bunch of lore and then not sharing any of it. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Yeah, I could see that. Grankle, I would assume that you're probably either, this is gonna be weird, but either I see, no, Beholder doesn't make sense. You would have to be Preacher. Yeah, so okay, it makes even more sense now, kind of. Either Preacher or Servant. If you really feel like you don't have a red endo, then I would say Preacher, which is the green-leaning, genius. However, if it's possible that you have a red endo, I could see a green-leaning mastermind, which is a servant. Seeing how I'm probably yellow that has 45 pages lore about their own book, that checks out to me. It's possible. I don't know. Yellow seem very inclined to escapism in my experience. explained to me a lot. Being an escapist, I like storytelling and RPing. I actually struggle to connect with people outside of RPs. That's actually really interesting, Blind Ori. Oh, I almost forgot to say how happy I was today because Tomodachi Life 2 is real. Okay, cool. That sounds sick. I don't think I've ever experienced anything on Tomodachi, so now I'm actually very curious. I feel attacked on that one. Okay, so this is seeming probable. I don't know. All right, dope. This is why it's so nice to have chat. This is why it's so nice to have the community and to have chat when it comes to like compass stuff, because the compass is really, really difficult to measure and develop in like a room of 3 people, right? Like when the compass started, realistically, so dead honest with you, green and blue were the enterprise of shit that I'm unaware of. Like, I have no idea what this is, and this is just like my scapegoat category. I just don't know what those are. And over time, they had to get like narrowed back down into being like kind of equilateral triangles. You know, a pie broken into 3 rather than broken into 2, followed by whatever's left, whatever that may be. It was just everything I didn't understand. I was like, you guys go in the performer category. And then I met performers. I'm like, yo, you guys are dope. You guys are pretty sick. I don't understand at all. I don't get it. Oh, ad coming up soon, chat. I'm going to solidify Inquisitor sub mastermind solely because when I thought about it, I immediately tried to question if I was really an Inquisitor or if I was actually the reverse. I fucking love that. I absolutely love that, honestly. That's exactly how I am. Best secret keeper. I think Greens are the worst at keeping secrets. I could see that. Hypothetically. Now, that's not to say that if you're a green, you're bad at keeping secrets. I just assume they're going to be the most prone to being social naturally. So it's just kind of like the natural epitome of, you know, more exposure to it is going to give you just worse odds, generically. I have many ideas in my head, yet I cannot get the right words to write them down for the life of me. Dude, I feel the fuck out of that. I feel the living hell out of that. It's terrible. Compass be spinning. There's actually a term that we used to say. It was the compass is compassing, which is to say that we would predict something with the compass and then it would happen. It means the compass is compassing. Ask Ren, yellow should be referred to as escape artist. Honestly, I'm kind of here for it. I would have been happy. I mean, escape artist kind of sounds physical, like they get out of the situations that they're in, which might be true to an extent. I could see that a lot of yellows like kind of end up self-isolating if they feel burdensome. So a yellow will be like, oh, I feel like my existence is not helping this person, so they'll slowly distance themselves from somebody. And unless somebody physically like grabs them and pulls them back in, they'll just dissipate out of a relationship. I can see yellows doing that a lot. And in that sense, you could call them an escape artist. But escape artist kind of gives me the vibe like they're trying to escape, but I think it's escapism. Reposting. Masterminds are the best at keeping secrets because their oranges don't care enough and the reds forget almost instantly. Possibly, yeah. Okay, that's not 100% true because I have had a habit that I have had to practice against like my whole life where, okay, this is gonna be, there used to be a meme and it was like literally the most relatable meme I've ever heard in my life. And it was, I have 5 memories and they take turns, right? And what I mean by that is my memory is very like triggered, right? Like my memories trigger other memories. If you were to be like, hey, tell me a list of things that you remember of this subject, I'll draw a blank, dude. I will have no idea. But if you go, hey, this memory, what happened around that? I usually actually have a really strong presence of mind with that. If you can give me a core memory and ask me to branch off of it, I'll have to like remember I'll have to remember things like in line of that. I'll have to remember in branches essentially, right? So you'll be like, oh, what happened on this day? I remember this one thing happening. Tell me the rest. And I can be like, oh, I can walk through it really well. And I start to remember like really tiny details suddenly. But until that point, my memory is just pitch fucking black, dude. I don't remember anything at that point. You know, I don't remember any of my childhood. I don't remember what happened yesterday. I don't remember what I had for breakfast. I don't remember any of that shit. But once I get started, I can start to begin to manifest those other memories. I would say, well, I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but it feels like I am. You know what I mean? So in vein of that, when it comes to things like secrets, sometimes I will remember something, say it out loud, and then forget that it was a secret. So sometimes I have to speak and then not remember that I should have been speaking. I would assume that geniuses are probably the best secret keepers. Who said that? Heartbeat? Oh wait, oh my god, we work the same server. You are so fine. You're allowed to yell in chat. You're allowed to yell as much as you want. It is not abnormal here. But I love that, and I think you might be a red, Heartbeat. Yeah, red leaning yellow, definitely. That was like the most red leaning yellow thing I've ever heard in my life in that order. Oh my fucking god, we work the same. I'm sorry for yelling. That was like okay, yellows are extremely apologetic. Like in my experience, yellows are hyper apologetic. Utopia question. Primordial is a language purely about the flow of mana. Could you theoretically write in Primordial by imbuing a specific flow of mana inside of an object, like a sort of audiobook / audio journal? So actually, funny story, yes, only and because of the West March. The West March accidentally canonized that. And it was really funny because the original answer was no, there was no way to do that. However, the West March came up with a way to do it, and then suddenly you were able to. Good job. Basically the way that you explained from what I understand. Sometimes things happen around Utopia, and people will know how to do it, and I still won't. So I cannot describe to you how to write in Primordial or what the most efficient methods are, but chances are Elf could. I bet Elf could tell you how, way better than I could. And sometimes it's just because that's how the system interacts with itself. When there are some times where someone will ask me about a rule, and I'll be like, I'm not 100% positive actually. Because it's just unclarified, right? So like if two rules interact in a certain way, I have to treat the rules as raw, right? Like I can tell you what my intention was, but what my intention was doesn't matter, right? It's how it's written. So at the end of the day, I usually have to read it and go, no, actually you're right. I didn't even know that. Yo, thank you so much for the 100 daily biddies. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ray. Hey Ori, is methodically lessening one's lean a thing or no? I don't know. I would assume it happens naturally. So the current hypothesis is that your lean is borderline more prominent when you're young. And when you mature over time and you grow up, then your actual super archetype will take more and more precedent. Whether or not your lean is probably the most active change that you can make, but it wouldn't be introspectively, right? It would be extrospectively by changing your environment. My presumption is that your lean changes based on what you surround yourself with. I don't know if that's the case. That's my assumption. Ah! Thank you. I'm noting these sounds somewhere to bring together later and see what comes out of it. Executives. Well, now, wonderful and purple. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely hilarious. I was saying that Leica, learned from her creator's books and journals, only realized, hang on, she only speaks Primordial. Oh shit. Yeah. There's actually a really funny thing where if Primordial is written that way, you can inscribe hidden messages that way. Because Primordial has no ink, right? There's no physical ink that comes with Primordial, which means that you can write, if you can imbue Primordial, I can write you a utopian letter that has a hidden Primordial message that only Primordial speakers will understand. Oh, okay, so I'm fine, hopefully. Let's hope I don't end up gasp of dread. Ads, thank you for the ad. Hands up for the ad. I have some assumptions. I have some assumptions about people in chat, but I don't want to like offer out potential presumptions about people without asking them. Let's see if I can attack myself. Reposting for Ori's sake. Work on making a memory palace, Sherlock Holmes. It uses that linking effect to improve your memory, but by a bunch. Really has been helping me as a red. Honestly, I've heard a lot about memory palaces, and I've been extremely intrigued. I've always, since I heard it, been like, is that like a thing? Is that like a real thing? And once I researched it, it was. And I was like, I'm very intrigued by that, actually. I'm exceptionally intrigued. The assumptions aren't about me, are they? No, not about you, Eco, not in this specific case. Make assumptions of me, I can take it. I don't think I have any sort of, there's someone in mind that I have. I don't know if I could just make assumptions out of nowhere for some people. Send someone a birthday card with a hidden message in Primordial. Yo, this card got a sick beat, the Primordial. I wrote this because I had to. I fucking love that. Feel free to presume whatever you like about me. Just remember, as a purple, I'll be judging you in the background, and I've always expected. I love purples. So I don't know how many people know about the pressures and stuff like that, but reds exhume executional pressure, and purples are the best at taking it. It's really funny because I feel like reds are also probably the most resistant to judgment. Like yellows are probably going to be the harshest taking judgment. Greens are probably going to be middleman when it comes to taking judgment. Like, it's kind of, like, circumstantial. Reds, I feel like, are like, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, Reds either don't care, they run straight through it, and they go, oh, okay, and they just go with it, right? Which is really funny because Reds and Purples seem to make a really strong, like, likeness to each other. Like, they seem to magnetize, in a sense. Because Reds exhume executional pressure, and Purples are the best at handling executional pressure because they can track and plan it. However, I've heard that Reds make Purples very anxious. I love hearing assumptions about me. I know the pressures unless I forgot. Oh, so I'm green then? What makes you say that you're green? Tori and Ari duo win? Interesting. Oh, definitely? Oh, what makes you green? What makes you green? Orange seem to me, they would not care much about judgment. I think oranges are like the best at taking judgment, realistically. Just like you said, they're not gonna care. That's not always the case, right? But they're probably gonna care the least. If I, as a person, was orange versus blue, as an orange, I would be better at taking the judgment, or less observant of the judgment in general, as if I was purple. I mean blue. I think purple, I don't know how purples take judgment. I feel like purples would take judgment with teeth. Like if a purple's taking judgment, they're gonna dish it back. Yeah, I think purples can definitely be defensive. I think it's also endo-dependent, but I could definitely see purples getting defensive in more common cases than the other exos. That's fair. I feel like when I'm like being criticized, if I'm being like actively criticized, I'm very like, damn, I should have done that better. Or I go, no, I disagree, but you chill. Respect. You know what I mean? That's usually the two ways that I see it, I feel like. Yeah. What's up, Low Duck? Welcome in, dog. Thanks so much for being here. Make yourself at home. I appreciate you. Welcome in, welcome in. Purple will judge your judgment. I love that. My red makes my purple have strokes because I'm in the middle ground about judgment. Depends on who it's from, to be honest. If they know what they're talking about, I'll get it, but otherwise, I don't care. Yeah, no, that's fair. For me, a lot of it is okay, I want to say it's credibility based, but it's kind of not for me. Like, I try to like think of the credibility of it, but sometimes I just breeze over that part. That second one is super rare? The second one is super rare? To me, purple would either get defensive or just be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right, actually. I could see that. I think that purples can be swayed. Absolutely. I think that it's possible for a purple to get stuck with their heels dug in, but I think that's also circumstantial. I think that kind of depends. I think that a lot of times when it comes to convincing virtually anybody, right? Anybody who has any level of stubborn, maestros, masterminds, geniuses, conductors, executives, I think those are the big stubborn ones. I think that's the big stubborn archetypes. That's like your high range of stubborns, right? There usually is a single point that needs to be fought, right? When it comes to a debate or an argument where you're genuinely trying to convince somebody, there's a single point that needs to be manifested somewhere. They have a single objection, and whether or not it is being vocalized doesn't matter. The point is that the argument will not convince them until that single or one or multiple objections are resolved. And until that point, they will remain stubborn, right? I say that I am convincible, but I'm also highly skeptical, right? So like usually when it comes to someone arguing or debating with me, there's an objection in my head that's like hiding somewhere in my head. And I'll do my best to vocalize it, but sometimes it won't always come out. And if you fail to hit that objection, either because you don't hear me, I don't hear you, or I just don't hear a point that changes that opinion for me, I'm never gonna be convinced. Like, you can hit me with it forever. I'm just never going to be convinced ever until that point is reached. If I'm being criticized, my thoughts will always start with, screw you, followed by either, yeah, I can see that, or, no, I'm right. That's actually really interesting. Huh. Wild. Purple perspective? That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I can see purple's perspective on chirps. That's actually really interesting. I thought you said I'm gonna stab you with a liver instead of stab you in the liver, and I was mighty confused. What, you keep treating my son Lyle as food? But yeah, purple would need to be convinced that they are wrong, not persuaded. Yes, that is a really good way to put that in my opinion. I completely agree with that. This is my very low knowledgeable self. I don't think you're low knowledgeable. I think you're quite knowledgeable, like painfully knowledgeable, Heartbeat. I'm incredibly paranoid. Dude, same. Oh my god. It's wild how paranoid I get. And it's like out of nowhere. I don't feel like at a glance I'm a paranoid person. I don't feel like I should be a paranoid person, but I am just excessively paranoid about really dumb shit. It's kind of annoying. Had an argument with Utopia chat, and then I left after it came up with another point that I 100% believe in, but I can't share it anymore because people might get mad. That is like the most genius thing I think I've ever heard. Like maybe Inquisitor-esque, but that sounded super genius. Also, that's very unfortunate. If you want to talk about it here, you can. Attempt 2 Utopia question. What materials would I need to craft a magic frying pan? It depends on a lot of things. What it does, how powerful it is, what its effects are, things like that. Assuming that it's a weapon, if it's a slow weapon, more than likely just some amount of material components. Rarity dependent on how powerful it is. If it's light or if it's fast or moderate, you're gonna need refinement components. If it does damage other than physical, it'll need power. Or if it has something like sentient. A frying pan and magic. That will do it. You can do that. You can telekinetically control a frying pan. And it's actually surprisingly powerful. Telekinetic weapons are disgusting, dude. They are so strong. Kind of hard to see Safei. Don't eat Oki. I don't know why you would eat Oki. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Just one last time I ask, do I give off any purple vibes? I'm not gonna bother Ori about this question any further. If they miss it, I apologize. Sometimes it is hard for me to read through all of chat, especially when I'm trying to explain something. But I don't see purple from you, Emmy. I don't personally see any purple. I do get pretty hard lover vibes from you, Emmy. After you talked about it and after interacting with you a little bit more, I get some pretty hard lover vibes. If you are a lover, I think you're right about the red lean. I think all I can see is the red lean at that point. Then my Lelo observation comes in and makes me feel like they're lying and makes me even more paranoid. That is actually so fair. I could see how that would be devastating. That would be terrifying. Oh my god, wait, that's so real. Oh god, I'm not even a yellow lean and that just sounds like a fucking nightmare, dude. Oh dear god. Something sparkly, like maybe a cupcake. Sage is saying that Oki would become, if Oki was food, he'd turn into something sparkly like a cupcake. I feel like you'd have like an Oki cupcake that whenever you try to take a bite out of it, it would like teleport away, or you'd realize it was a decoy. It was like an illusion cupcake to make you feel like you had it. What's that? I think don't care is kind of, yeah, exaggeratively, yes. I think that it kind of misses like the core essence of why, but yes. How powerful would Murray's, I think that's Pavi, become if it got upgraded with Orichalcum? Very much so. More than likely, probably at least legendary, but I think Murray's Pavi's full potential is mythical. 0% purple. Let's go. It can be used as a weapon, can add fire damage to your roll, can still be used as a normal frying pan. Okay, if it can be used as a weapon, add fire damage to your roll, still be used as a normal frying pan. If that's the case... Oh, thank you so much for the posture check, I appreciate it. If that's the case, I think that you could get really complicated with it and make an artifact. If that was the case, it's going to be a lot more expensive. However, if you were to make a more simplistic version of it, that's more flavorful than anything, then you could probably make a common to extraordinary item that does exactly what you're looking for. Size comparison, size to weight, I would presume that it is moderate, but it would be cheaper if it was a slow weapon. And you're probably looking at common or extraordinary components, depending on how exactly you calculate it. How out of character would it be for me to make a lax green character? I don't think it would be out of character necessarily. I think it'd be interesting. I would need to see it. I would really want to see it, like how it goes. I'd want to know. I'd want to see. I'm so intrigued. That's like a maestro. That makes me feel very maestro. Sherb's playing a maestro is a whack. No, it'd be a cupcake that does random stuff to you. That'd be wild. Running into people might actually do damage because you can hold an action to grapple people while running and speed them up without stopping yourself. I'm very invested in this because it seems so cool. Yeah, no, you can absolutely do that. So the way that kinetic force damage generally works, and this is not written, but this is kind of the rule that I've been going by, is that the thing that takes kinetic force damage is the thing that's moving. So if you run into somebody, you're the one taking kinetic force damage. They're going to take physical damage. Now, if you were to pick them up and run them into a wall, that is kinetic force damage, which cannot be blocked, cannot be dodged, ignores SHP, and ignores defenses. It's the most powerful form of damage, really. Now, Lelo is also gullible and Orange is complacent, so whenever I don't feel like it, I don't bother being paranoid and just activate my red brain. That's the realest shit I've ever heard in my life, dude. That is the most accurate thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life. That is excessively accurate. Can I ping you for compass judgment on character? I can judge her later. Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Or why is it weird for me to greatly enjoy tactics and everything to do with it? Because hypothetically that's green. It doesn't always mean it's green. Actually, if anything, it's very possible to be yellow. I need to get Maris Parvi upgrade. Maurice Pavi an upgrade. I need Neppy to spit out more orichalcum shards until he gets some full piece. Maybe more performer? Performer is very interesting and I'm intrigued. I would need to see how you play it. I can't envision a Sherb's performer character in my head. Like, I can't vividly imagine it. It sounds so out of left field for me. But I love the idea. I want to see that. Out of curiosity, I was told there wasn't anything, but is there any effect on weapon properties involving size of character? An example, a large character taking book equipment read as medium gear. Taking book equipment? Nothing changes your size in Utopia. There's no size changing in Utopia, and that is on purpose. Lodak, what's up? Sorry to ask, but what is all this color stuff? I'm a little confused. No, you're totally fine. So there's a kind of a archetype system that we're talking about right now. It's called the compass. So these are the colors on screen, and this is gonna not be on screen forever. But roughly, the way that it works is these top three that you see right here. I'm gonna use this command again to make sure it pops up. Those top three right there are called endos. And those bottom three right there, the blue, purple, orange, are called exos. And you can mix 2 of these in any combination to make the 9 archetypes. And what we're referring to is the personality of people and characters with these archetypes. So we're kind of describing what each endo and what each exo interacts like and kind of clarifying those types of things. Hopefully that was a good enough example of that, or a good enough explanation of that. I'll send you the doc, bet. Red actions justified, real. So you're saying making people run into walls is the most powerful thing ever? Roughly. Or he forgets about the magma again. I do have magma open right now. I'm so bad at masking when I apologize to people because I feel like I'm lying if I say sorry. That's actually so real. That sounds like a very yellow thing. That sounds like a very, very yellow thing. The character is already sized large. Would their equipment stats be any different compared to how it's written in the book? Not necessarily. However, there's a weird thing that comes with that because you can raw play in a way in which you are a large character that fits into a medium character's clothing, right? Like, so you can wear medium character's armor as large. However, more realistically, if you were to do like a custom species or anything like that, you should need custom clothes. There's no specific ruling preventing it, I should say. However, in all reality, there probably should be. I like throwing people into walls in Utopia. That's I love throwing people into walls in Utopia. Real. If a character's already yes. Or you have a compass chart in the magma. I know. Imagine an artifact called Mask of Emotion. That's actually kind of deep, dude. That's kind of deep. That's kind of bars, though. An example, Lekka is a large character. She has a halberd. Since it has 2 meters of range, it's half her height. It feels a bit small. No, that's actually fair. No, I get where you're coming from on that. Utopia's not super designed for large characters. I know that there is a species effect that makes you large. However, that species effect is kind of assuming that you're like 3.5 to 4 meters. You know what I mean? So there's no built-in reach functions for Utopia at this moment. And building off of that is going to be really difficult because it's hard to produce core mechanics in the not core guide. So it may end up kind of living in the aether for a little bit as to what the answer to that is. But like I said, the species categorization of that is designed for like 4 meters tall. You know what I mean? You really should have some extra reach, you just don't, unfortunately. Realistically, you should be able to extend your arm out an additional meter in comparison to everyone else. It's just not a part of it, right? However, there's something to note, and I don't think that this is very well issued, or super well explained, other than by principle or by example. But 1 meter of range means that there's a 1 meter gap, right? So if I'm on a square, and if it's me, blank square, you, I can hit you with 1 meter of range. That's all I need, right? So range in Utopia is measuring the gap between you. At 1 meter range does not mean you then me. 1 meter range is not adjacent. Just a heads up, in case that clears anything up. Just want to check with the guy who made Ori's house rules. I think you should be able to, personally. I think it makes sense. I mean, the same argument can be made as well, that, you know, I could also take a lunging step out to get an extra meter of range. It's hard to insert those rules in a fluid manner, in my opinion. Let the West March figure it out. Real. Yeah, the West March can come up with the rules. I don't know. I don't even know how to play that game. I just imagine having my sentient cloud bard occasionally using a frying pan because of a tavern worker is part of their backstory. I actually fucking love that so much. That's so dope. Everyone, while Moonchi is gone, eating Epi and Moth, don't do it. I made her 4 meter tall since that's already pretty tall. That is quite tall. That is quite tall. There are characters that are going to be a third of her height easily. But it makes sense. It makes sense for a lot of constructs, artificial, homunculi, things like that. I think it makes a lot of sense personally. Like I said, there's no baked in rules for that type of occurrence, but I think realistically, you probably should. The only reason that I would personally have a problem with that is because it's not mechanically balanced, right? There's no mechanics giving you a downside to having that extra meter of range. But an argument could be made, if the character is big enough, their arm just extends to an adjacent square, meaning they get more reach. That is correct. I agree with that. I think the argument can be there. Like I said, there's just no mechanical downside to it, which is why it's not introduced in Utopia. There would need or should be some level of mechanical downside to it. That's a really strong freebie, I guess is what I'm saying. If Frankie had to have an archetype, what would theirs be? Probably conductor. I've thought about this. So one of the examples that I give you as to why 1 meter of range is so powerful is because if you have an ability like Blitzer, and you could have a halberd that extends up to 3 meters if customized, which means you have 4 meters of range, right? Blitzer says you hit everything within your melee weapon's range. So with that extra 1 meter, you just tacked on so much area. Like I want to say, I don't know the exact math of it because it's okay. Actually, I can't do the math of it. Give me a second. I'm doing the math on this. So the radius I need a radius of 3 pi r squared. So 3 times. I'm just gonna approximate the shit out of this. This is gonna be such bad math. Uh. 28. Hold on to that number, chat. 28 and a half, give or take. Yeah, you're literally almost doubling your area. You're going from like 28 and a half meters of area to 50 and a half meters of area from that 1 extra meter. It gets really gross. What archetype? Conductor. Frankie is more than likely a conductor. I also did the math using actual sandbag weight and hourglass amounts to give her roughly 1 metric ton of weight. That's actually dope as hell. I love that. Pink. Blitzer is busted as a grappler. Oh, it's so gross, dude. Blitzer gets so gnarly. But only the last square would be full damage. The rest of the the rest of the pole arm hitting you. And that's part of the question, right? Is like, sure, I can extend my arm out to that range, right? But can I do that in all circumstances? You know what I mean? I don't know. There's a lot to go over when it comes to something like that. And it's also, there could be an assumption and an argument that you can make that you have to go down, right? And if you have to bring your halberd down because you're so tall, then you might lose that last meter again. So on and so on forever and ever. Conductor, correct. Everyone have your... no, Sage, don't do that. Attack one person multiple times using their friends, correct. So you can see how out of hand that extra meter can get. Halberd has a spear tip for a reason. Real. A halberd can have up to 3 meters of range. A halberd can have up to 3 meters, hypothetically. Also, there is a difference between actual range and functional range with a weapon, right? Just because my weapon is 6 meters long and I can extend my arm out 1 meter does not mean I can hit something out at 3 meters, right? Because if I'm holding my halberd at the tip of it and having my arm out like this, I'm not gonna successfully hit something, right? I might hit you with it. I'm probably not gonna hurt you to the extent that a halberd could, if that makes sense. There's a lot of arguments there. When you bring true physics into it, it makes it so much harder to calculate. And brings in so many contingencies. Ad coming soon. Probably about 5 minutes would be my assumption. No, run, save me from the munch. I've returned, Sage, I've come for your ankles. 'Tis but a flesh wound. Unless you have a lot of power. Yeah, exactly. And even then, it's always just going to be better to just have it with 2 hands, right? It's always just going to be more beneficial to have it close to you with 2 hands, so on and so on. You did this to yourself. Heartbeat, I have, like, archetype compass, like, assumptions that I want to, like, but I don't want to, like, do it in, like, an environment like this without, like, I don't know. I don't like digging into people without asking first, I guess. But I like, had some questions, I guess, and some presumptions. Fine with it? Okay. Heartbeat, you give me like super strong like quench vibes. Like you give me like very like self-stifled, I guess. It feels like you have like a really strong, impactful, and maybe like boisterous personality that you kind of like actively go through like a super strong. I don't mean like a passive filter. I mean like an active filter. Like you consider. You give me vibes that, like, you type messages out a lot and then look at them for a second before sending them and check them. Like, a really strong presence of image type thing. Where you, like, recognize and calculate what you look like before you go out and do it, if that makes sense. And I'm curious because it fits an example of something that I have been very, very curious of. Excellent argument, Ori, but I'd like to provide the counterpoint. Oh, I'm getting attacked. You can dig into my archetype all you want, Ori. I'm intrigued. What I was talking about with Heartbeat is specific because it tips me off to something that I want to ask about, but I want to hear confirmation about it first. But I am intrigued. What do you expect your archetype to be? What do you think your archetype is more than anything? I have drawn Scarlet, Hollow Knight OC, on Magma if you want to check. I've given up on finishing the line art of the ribbon. That's actually so real. I might end up doing a little bit of Magma today. You think you're a genius? I could see that. How much do you like repetition? How much do you like being yourself? And do you feel like you are naturally apologetic? Like, do you fear being a burden or a nuisance to other people? Are any of those characteristics that you would tie to yourself? Ori went Botsy! Botsy was yesterday, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it Saturday. There is an extremely minimal chance that I could do it on Saturday, but generically Wednesdays. So if I heard well, you're asking me if I'm aware of the image I'm reflecting and if I'm consciously act upon it before expressing so that I appear a certain way? Roughly, yeah, Heartbeat, roughly. What more Botsy? You guys are allowed to play Botsy without me, you know that, right? You guys can play without me. I don't have to be there. I would love to join every time that I can. I love Blood on the Clock Tower so much, dude. I love Blood on the Clock Tower. However, I'm not gonna be available this Saturday. If you guys want to play on Saturday, I absolutely advise that you do. But we do play on every Wednesday around stream time. I should go into Magma, but alas, I'm doing Mr. Oreo Man's B-Day gift. Yeah, but it's fun with you there for me personally. I appreciate you. I try to go as often as I can. Hopefully we can get away with more Saturdays in the future. Part of the reason why we have a 2-week break here is because I have a lot of things that I'm trying to mash into these 2 weeks that I don't get a chance to when I'm on stream or when I have a tight schedule, including and not limited to my birthday, so. Also, why me as Widow? I never got around to asking. So one of the things that happened, Eco, was you said you wanted to talk to me before the game even started. And getting a chance to talk to your minion on the first night with a valid excuse is like one of the most powerful things ever. Like, you never get to talk to your minion on first night without some kind of suspicion on you, right? So when I was told I was a demon and I got to choose, also Widow is just disgusting, dude. Widow and Spy are both crazy. Getting to know the entire grimoire is just disgusting. So I knew I was picking a Widow, but the fact that you were like, hey, let's talk before the game even starts, I'm like, fuck yeah, Eco's gonna be my Widow. Absolutely. Or out of curiosity, is the reason you think I have green vibes because I try to eloquent and enunciate everything? Not necessarily. I think that's definitely a part of it. But I think it's partially the vocalization, right? Like greens are often like very vocal and showing of their works, right? So like, for instance, if you like give me something, you're like, hey, I made this thing and I want you to see it, right? It is both a yellow leaning red quality, but it is also a pure green quality, right? To go, hey, I made this thing and I want people to see it. However, one thing I've learned and kind of failed to deduce a couple times is that I feel like yellows are in a tighter group, right? They're not showing the world. The greens are like, hey, I want everyone to see this. Yellows are like, hey, I want you to see this specifically. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I got the green vibe to an extent, but it's not yellow leaning green vibe. It's more so yellow leaning red vibes, because yellow leaning reds are like, look, which I absolutely love. I would say I'm aware of the image I'm giving to people or would potentially appear as, and I do nudge my way of acting depending on said assumption and potential outcomes. Oh, I think Heartbeat is a servant. Heartbeat is absolutely a servant. No fucking shot. Oh my god, there's no way. Heartbeat, that is the advanced mirror ball. That is whack. It may not be the exact same extent, but I was just, okay, the reason why I was asking you Heartbeat so specifically is because of how, fuck, ads just started, dang it! Okay, ads are on, hands up. Alright, well, 2-minute ad break, we'll have to wait. I wonder if Heartbeat heard the reason why I said that Honda Civic ad. That's so unfortunate. Okay, ads, I see it. You're here? Wait, do you not have ads? Wait, do you have ads? No ads again. No ads again? Wait, does no one have ads? What? Why does no one have ads? What? What's going on here? I love not having ads. Does nobody have ads? I'm confused. Twitch says that people should have ads right now. Twitch is being nice. Okay, cool. Whatever. The reason why I brought that up was because it's excessively relatable. It is excessively relatable to me personally. I don't know if that's because you're sub. That is, yeah, that makes sense. There should be an ad break right now. Like, Twitch is saying that there's an ad break right now, but it just seems like nobody has ads, which I'm not going to complain about. So the way ads work is basically during this time people might get ads. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think that Twitch has to have like a number of ads that they want to show that they feel like fits the content and things like that, and sometimes they just don't have one. They don't have enough ads, or they don't have an ad to show anybody, so they just don't. Which, quite the lucky break, because I rarely see that happen. You had ads this time? Okay. All the times, really? That's so weird. I think it depends on who's watching and who's streaming. Like, both of those things, they're both taken into consideration. And if they're like, this combination, there's nothing, there's nobody who would advertise to these people, then they won't show ads. At least not at that time. Could you ask me those questions again? I forgot them while formulating my response. That makes me think red. That was a very red thing. Question was, how apologetic are you? Do you feel like you might be hyper apologetic, overly apologetic, or apologize a lot? Do you have a strong fear of pulling people down, being afraid of being a burden, so on and so on? I don't mean like lightly, I mean like a borderline crippling. And do you feel like you turn to escapism a lot? The end of the ad break is people won't get ads past this point. Huh. Yeah. Red! What? I was talking about Heartbeat. Yeah, I did. Heartbeat didn't get ads. Yeah, we were just saying that virtually nobody got ads somehow. Huh? I said it's because it's extremely relatable to me. Yes, for anyone who doesn't know in chat, I'm a servant. That is the green regression of Mastermind. I'm an outlier, so interesting. Oh! I'm wildly intrigued. I see why we then. See why we then? I am Zazabu. Sage is a rebel. Which is the yellow regression of Mastermind. I have a friend I exchange lore with, but I only supposedly supply about 1% of the total lore due to him loving to show me and constantly undersharing. Interesting and wild. That's fair. That's actually pretty fair. That sounds like a genius. That sounds like both yellows, realistically. That sounds very both yellows. But probably an inquisitor or a lover on their side would be my guess. Every day something for a couple of months. I think that the losing interest thing is probably more often red. I think purples are probably the most consistent. I don't know if it's necessarily an orange trait. I just feel like it's not purple. I is instigator. Correct. I don't think I'll ever be at full maturity. Not with that attitude, you won't. I do feel a lot of time like I intuitively understand things you implied, or some interactions felt way too natural for a complete stranger. Yes, no, I was thinking that, okay, there are so many times, I don't mean this in a bad way, of course, but like there were so many times where Heartbeat's interactions like stood out to me, and I'm like, why? But feels like so painfully relatable a lot of the ways. I think that I have similar methods, so correct me if I'm wrong, Heartbeat, but if I am correct, then I would assume that you kind of do the personality-only thing, right? Either an amalgamation of, or grabbing other things that you've seen from other people. Because for me, personally, now, Heartbeat, I'm still asking you how relatable this is, but for me, personally, society, people's feelings, people's emotions, people's way of going about things, none of it makes any sense, and it never has. It never has made any sense to me, right? However, I'm able to reverse engineer to some extent, or at least to the best of my ability, reverse engineer what people want and what people expect of me. And I can kind of craft that persona to an extent and be or embody that person based on gauged reactions. You know what I mean? Like I can analytically tear down what people want from me. When I do this thing, they do that thing. Okay, well if they're those people, then they do this other thing instead. So I can reverse engineer all of that, put that down on a table, break it all down, and then go, okay, based on this, I know I need to act this way. And sometimes I fumble, right? Sometimes I'm like, that's a lot of math to do in 1 second of time, so it's difficult for me to react sometimes. However, that is generically how I go about life. I pick up masks and wear them because I know normally the situation calls for this mask. Precisely, yes! I'll be like, I'll carve masks in the shape of other people's faces, and I'll wear this one because I feel like the room that I'm in would like this person, and I'll wear this one for right now. It's really funny because I have this habit that people have picked up on, where if I'm like amongst like a varying group of people, I will act one way when physically and literally facing one way, and then act a different way when turning the other way, because I just embody whatever I feel like is necessary at the time. That's why I always call specifically servants mimics, because they just are whatever they need to be at the time. It also means a lot of the time I will fail to express or even acknowledge the things that I need as a person, like a lot of my personal necessities and relationships, sometimes on a physicality level. I will fail to recognize what I need as a person, and then I'll just explode one day after like a year of being like fine and complacent and like nothing is ever wrong in my life and completely content, and all of a sudden I just explode, and I'm like, why do I feel so many things right now? It's because I've been building up a bottle in my chest for like a year now, and I didn't even realize that I was, and then suddenly it's like, and I'm like, where did that come from? I don't feel things normally. Anyways. And you struggle too sometimes with realizing you are confused about who you are? And you struggle too sometimes with yes, oh my god, dude, identity crisis was like a hobby for me, dude. It was so wild. Anyways, this character feels so wrong having less than 40 SHP. Sherp just suffering the feeling of not having insane HP. Felt, dude. What level is your character, Sherps? I've never been, likely, never will be full maturity. Now with that attitude, I'm less reverse engineer, weirdly, and more like I know what you are, so I act this way. That feels mirror ball-y. That feels like mirror ball. Masterminds are usually seem to be anything but themselves. But not like in the yellow way, in the like this is gonna be the path of least resistance way. I just explode every second of my life and just keep it inside. Honestly, that is the realest shit I've ever heard. Level 10. Level 10. Yeah. Rain is so dumbfounded. Rain said, I don't think I've ever had more than 20. The explosion thing was relatable. Interesting. Very interesting. Identity crises are so fucking fun, they're the norm now. That's a way to put that. Eco will just like flop between like, are you yellow to that's an executive. Like out of nowhere, dude. I have a whole list of personalities now, about 100 of them, and each from a different person with a different skill set. I kind of love that, and real. I have 16 on my sheet, so it's probably not that big of a problem. You'll be fine. Don't worry about dying to sneezes. It's chill. Think you got your responses? Interesting. Okay, hit me with them. Already getting Lilo vibes. Confusion? Be confused. 5d12 dodge. Wonk. That's wild. Okay. I would say that I am very apologetic. If there's an issue that I may be involved, the first thing I generally do is consider if it is my fault. I wouldn't say that I have a super strong fear of pulling other people down, but if I feel I can't confidently contribute positively, then I won't do anything. I don't fear pulling other people down because I don't pull other people down. Not because I'm just the best, but because I won't do anything if I can't push others up. I very much love to create my own worlds and ideas and similar things. I like to get lost in my mind. This is probably escapism. Okay, yeah. I feel like Donut and Ty would get along very well. From the long, well-written, well-calculated response to the way that I'm not gonna say, like, it's a very, like, blatant, blunt, like, these are the facts method of going about giving information and things like that, which I find super, super intriguing, so helpful in so many cases. It's so nice, dude. I feel like you guys definitely have different sub-archetypes at the very least, but I would assume that you guys are both preachers, which means green lane. I think that Ty has a conductor sub-archetype, so I think you're likely probably not a conductor sub-archetype. However, I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% positive. I'm very intrigued by that response, though. I think that it's very, like, to the point, like, this is how it is. And I kind of dig the hell out of that. Very genius coded. I agree with you completely on the genius, based on that response, if nothing else. And again, I do think that you and Ty would get along very well. If not, share a lot in common, at the very least. Fuck, so I was reading that, I was semi-unconsciously mimicking them. That's it. That's the masterminds right there. Trident! Tori! I do not think I'm green at all, so not social. Okay, just non-social does not necessarily mean not green, right? Greens have a lot of other things about them. Okay, so one of the big facets of green is, and you can still tell me you're not green after this, but just to clarify and make sure, greens are generally extrospectively insecure, right? Like, that is the strongest insecurity that I've seen greens fight with, is fear of how they are perceived, right? Whether they are accepted, whether they are liked or loved by an outer population that does not have to do with themselves, right? Yellows seem to be often introspectively insecure, whereas greens are extrospectively. So yellows are worried about who they are and who they're going to be, you know, things within themselves. They are afraid of their own introspection. However, greens are afraid of what the public sees of them, what the public eye perceives them as, if that makes sense. The quote-unquote imaginary audience that pops up in psychology, right? Assuming that there's more eyes on you than there actually are. That's how I would describe that. And again, this is a sub-archetype, so it's not like super extremely present. It's just the next in line, I guess, to the yellow. What did Emmy say? Where's Emmy? Where's Emmy? I miss Emmy. Oh, I'm feeling very low right now. I'm trying not to let it leak out right now and affect the stream with the sad low things about myself. That would be blue. That would be very blue. That's blue melancholy. Blues are probably the most prone to becoming pessimists. Yes. Sage is screaming Tori in base 1. I never even identified that as a type of insecurity, lol. No, you're 100% fair. I actually didn't even think I've been trying to find a way to word that for a while, and I didn't figure out how I would personally word that until I was writing today's script. If you appear to be incredibly blue. And you appear to be incredibly blue, I would agree. Fucking real, sincerely a blue. Base 0. Nothing is true. Fuck! Feel very blue. Hey, it checks out in both circumstances. It's like I'm feeling blue, but also I'm feeling blue. Alright, can we do base 0 now? I don't know how that would even work. That's like a divide by 0 paradox. You're gonna create a black hole, Eco. Don't do this. Oki is now 111 now. So okay. We're using up a lot of words on names specifically. That's not I don't think that's a super amazing way to go about using that language. I'm feeling Gru. Can we have Orion as 11111? You're using some very valuable real estate in your language on names. Hi, 11111. So assuming just for ease of use, right? Each one is like 1 second of screaming. Is saying Tori, 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 going like, ah, ah, ah. As I'm still confused, so I'm gonna go watch the Compass video. I appreciate you. Let me know how it goes. Unfortunately, there's probably not a ton of time left in the stream. We're hitting the 2-hour mark in about 10 minutes or so. So if you want to stick around, you totally can. If you want to go check out the video, absolutely do. Please tell me what you think. I will be in Discord, so if you want to join the Discord or anything like that, please make sure to join us. I appreciate you a ton for being here. Red language. Let's go. Fuck yes. Yes, 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 yes. Magma? Sure. Is Meng streaming right now? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. That sounds dope. Oh, this is so cute. I love this so much. This is amazing. What's that? Okay, we're not doing that bad. 1111 could be used as story, but also Tempest, but also the color red depending on context. There is none. There is none. There is no context. But also, thank you so much for the hydrate. I appreciate you. Like Japanese kanji, so many different words represent multiple things. I'm so fine with that, honestly. Oh, there was an undrink. Okay, I realize now that I misread that. Bug. Silly bug doodle. Roser, Master Chief was telling me about this. I love this so much. This makes me happy. Yeah, we're being gasp of yippee smart. Okay, hear me out. The performer character has a bit of a Kenku disorder. I fucking love that so much. You guys remind me. When it was talking about like taking on like traits of someone's personality, I realize now that I take like little pieces. I feel like that's the reason that I started doing the Eco D. Like that's an example, right? It's like something that I feel like is relatable or like helpful in a way of communicating with other people or producing the image that I want to produce. I liked what Eco was doing there, so I adapted it. I grabbed it, I yoinked it, I stole it from them completely. Which route would be kleptomaniacs? I have thought about that a couple of times, and honestly, I have no idea. Kleptomaniacs. See, if I put one down, it's just gonna sound bad. I have one in mind, but I don't want to say it. Really? I did not get that. I feel like it would have to be orange. I feel like it would be orange. I feel like oranges have the analytical nature enough to recognize the consequences to some extent, and also not care about the consequences enough to stop doing it. But I don't know, honestly. I need more. I need more. You're doing it nearly as much as me? Let's go. Manga streaming, let's go! I would love to read manga. I'd say you integrated it. Yes! Integration, exactly. That's the one. That's the one. So masterminds would be kleptos. I was gonna say probably other masterminds or maestros. Wait, I'm a mastermind leading maestro. Oh, I'm so bummed. Chat, I guess I'm a kleptomaniac now. Damn. I integrate emoticons that I see into my typing. Honestly, that's actually so real. That's actually so real. Kleptomania tends to be a sort of involuntary thing, so probably red. That makes sense. That makes sense. Are you a mastermind? That's a good question. You could be a rebel as well. You absolutely could be a rebel. I will say that masterminds seem to be pretty good at dissolving when they want to. Like, they will just cease to exist for a period of time, and no one will know where they went, and suddenly they'll come back with a bang, right? They'll come back and do something that everyone's like, whoa, where the hell did you come from, and how did you do that? And then they'll disappear again. Sometimes it's in, like, 2-week bouts, sometimes they'll be gone for a month, and then they'll just come back, and it'll be as if nothing ever happened. They're really good at dissolving into the crowd, it seems like. Okay, Von Miner, let's go! It's not that they consider the consequences and disregard them, just that they don't consider the consequences and take the thing. Yeah, that sounds red. That does sound hyper red. Frankie will be 111111. Wonderful. 111 art! 111 line art. I need to get back to learning Kenya, I swear to God, but nice, huh? What? Tori. Curiosity, what is Molden? Molden? What is Molden? Molden feels blue to me. Really? Yeah, no, you're right. Definitely purple. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't see Conductor. I think Molden might be an Inquisitor. yeah, I think Molden is an Inquisitor. I feel like Molden is very Inquisitor-y. I feel like Molden is like very supportive, like very strong support nature, but I also feel like Molden is kind of like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you, dude? You know what I mean? Probably like blue perspective Inquisitor. So like, kind of like Sky. You can use your purple to make spreadsheet. Are we keeping track of the numbers and the ones and the meaner that's typing in to remember this? Because that'll go horribly, but also fun. Yeah, I think that might be my sub-archetype, or lover is my sub-archetype, mastermind is my super. That'd be really interesting. A lover, so if you were a lover, that would make you a rebel, which is what Sage is. So if you were a mastermind, thank you for having me. If you were a rebel mastermind, that would make you the same archetype as Sage. If you were a lover with a mastermind archetype, that would make you a nomad, which I don't think I have an example for. Sherbs would actually be an example of that. Sherbs, I mean, I don't know about the orange perspective necessarily, although I kind of assume. Oh, I'm sorry, blue perspective in that case. I think Sherbs is actually a lover with a... Is Sherbs a lover with a mastermind perspective? I think so. Yeah, actually, that would be like a spot-on example. I think Sherbs is probably more than likely a lover with a mastermind perspective. So, there's an example right there. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Enjoy your last 8 minutes. I'm eager to see your opinion on the homunculi when you get the chance. Since you're the one who made the house rules, I decided Ori's house rules for Utopia. It makes me so happy, dude. It's so funny to me. The Tempest will grow in power. Red, 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 or some shit. I say androgynously. Chat, I vibe with gender. I want to be gender. Help me be gender, chat. I aspire to be Frankie levels of gender one day. One day. I'm a red, but I only show it when I play Splatoon. That's actually so fair. Moonji just pops out of nowhere with the red. I feel like Moonji might be orange perspective. I think that might be part of the suddenly just existing faceted things. Black lipstick Ori, bring it back. I'm lover with mastermind. I guess Ori hates me. Not serious about Ori hate. I do not hate you. Not at all. Lover with mastermind. Oh, that would make Emmy and Sherbs the same, actually. You guys. That doesn't. Thanks so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, Myosotis? Tell me I landed that. Emmy and Sherbs. Do you think Emmy is green? You think Emmy might be performer? Yeah, I think Emmy might actually be in the performer side. Yo, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Please make sure to make yourself at home. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time left, but I'd really love to have you here. Thank you so much for joining in. Mayo Shy, invite her in. Let's go! Welcome in, Mayo. I'm happy to have you. What's up, Super Death? How's it going? Welcome in, buddy. Oh yeah, also Skies dragged me into a 2-week-long text-based botsy game. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's great. I've never even heard of that, and that sounds dope as hell. We're almost there with our language. It's wonderful. You are not forgettable, Emmy. Not at all. All you need is 111 and 1111. I think you might have a Maestro name. You know what? Emmy with a Maestro sub-archetype makes a lot more sense. No, you're right. I think Emmy has a Maestro archetype. Call the cult if you need help. Want it? Myosotis means forget-me-not in French. That's so cool! Wait, hold on. I want the actual pronunciation for this. Give me just a second.
Myosotis.
Myosotis. Okay, I was right. Okay, cool. Let's go. Landed it. That's actually a really cool name. I absolutely love that. Is 11 taken already? Is 1-1? I don't think 1-1 is taken yet. What am I now? I think Maestro lean. So instead of a mastermind lean, it's a Maestro lean. So instead of orange red, it's orange green. Hey, you down, Turley. Yeah, what's up? Oh my god. 7 ones is D. This is truly a red language. This is truly a red language. All of the important stuff comes first. Like all the words that you would scream repeatedly, followed by D. Is there any compass information I should know about? There's a whole lot of things to know, hypothetically. Unfortunately, we're hitting just about the end of today's stream. So if you do have any final questions, I would love to absolutely answer that. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time, though. Whoa! What is that? Brand new VTuber? That is so dope! Holy heck. 1111111, I think, also means no. Okay. Also means leprechaun, unemployment, international spy, masochist, hater, chat, and addicted to streaming. No! Incorrect! We have 2 words for Ori now. Fuck. I thought it was a red lean. What gives the change? Just over time. It just happens over time. I guess I see more of the green characteristics, like kind of the perceivance, and care for how you are perceived by the world, hypothetically. I don't know. It's always hard to be sure, but that would be my assumption. I see more green than red, I guess is just what I'm trying to say. If Ring won't make a Tempest chat, can me and Ori and Sage have for chat. Oh no, not another one. I can't keep track, chat. When is next stream, if you know? So the first like 100% positive stream back to when we're streaming every single day will be April 4th. However, I try to do as many pop-up streams in between as I can, minus just outside plans and life plans and stuff like that. But starting April 4th, I'll be back to streaming every single day for about 6 hours a day, at the same time that I started streaming today. Otherwise, I've just been doing surprise pop-up streams, so. I'm not addicted to streaming, not at all. We need a word for burger. We're raiding Meng! Raid message! Chat, it's the time! Make sure to copy that raid message, post it in Meng's chat. I ran out. Oh shit, I already ran out of time.